Welcome to Big Pick 4, the NFL handicapping show, where the NFL picking gurus, Big Danny D and Big Brian B, will give you the 4 best picks for Sunday's NFL games, to include the guarantees, the Big Danny D guarantee and the Big Brian B guarantees. So, gentlemen, recapping.
Hold on 1 second, Scott. I got an announcement.
An announcement.
Yeah. Before we put the recap, me and Dan have our own ticket. It's called the fuck the golden ticket. Can we see that?
Golden tickets 1-0.
Fuck the golden ticket. No, but you had no faith in us, and you said we weren't going to go 3-4, and we did. So
yep, went 3-1.
Here is our fuck the golden ticket. And thanks for your lack of confidence in us, douchebag.
Yeah, well, the golden ticket still remains at 1-0, and your record is a losing record still.
I'm sorry. Oh. Fuck the gold.
It may come, the golden ticket may or may not come back for the rest of the season. We just don't know.
Yeah, surprise.
So recapping week 9.
How'd you like my artwork, Scott? Scott, did you like the middle finger?
Yeah, that was great.
He worked on that for hours and hours.
So, ladies and gentlemen, recapping week 9, the Gurus went 3 out of 4 with the guarantees were both wins. So the loss was as I predicted, was the Jets. I said, come on, you don't think the Jets can squeak in under 6.5 and then they come in and win it outright, right?
Yeah, they won by 6.
So what say you about last week's game, Gurus?
I think we did well. I don't have anything to say.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 is the goal. I mean, if not 4 out of 4, so we did our jobs. Winning record.
Sometimes you just got to give credit to another team that played well. They had a good game plan and they executed their game plan.
How many defensive touchdowns did the Chiefs have?
2.
So I'm sure that was part of your prediction,
It was,
right?
actually.
That the defense was going to score 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I thought there would be turnovers. They were starting some jackass
Jeff Toole,
quarterback. Yeah. And the Chiefs' defense has been excellent. So I think it was very reasonable that he would turn the ball over. And it happened. So, they're not a big scoring team. Alex Smith had a terrible game. So it worked out well. The point is, it doesn't matter how it happens. The point is that it happened.
Again, for all you fans that just joined us, we have the fuck the golden ticket for all you that have just joined us.
How could they just join us? They've been watching from the beginning.
Well, actually, the way that works is if I think you're going to go 4-0, I pick a golden ticket hoping for a 3 out of 4. But I couldn't pick it last week because I didn't think I thought the Jets would squeak in under that cover.
Dan brought up a good point. The golden ticket, we're expected to be 3 out of 4. You should only have a golden ticket week if you think it's going to be 4 out of 4. Dan brought up a very good point. The golden ticket, you're saying that it's something unusual for us to go 3 out of 4. It's not. It's expected.
No, I agree with you. I thought it was going to be 4 out of 4 on the first golden ticket week, but Dan told me Jason Campbell was quarterbacking for the Raiders.
Oh, my God.
So then I had to take the golden ticket back halfway through the game.
The Lions still play at Tiger Stadium. Give me a break. Come on. Why are you being such a douchebag?
I have to go back and look at the tape on that.
Yeah, I never said Jason Campbell.
You actually did. You don't remember. I think
it's for the Browns. Never said he was whatever you said.
You may need to get your meds adjusted. See the doctor on that one. Get those meds adjusted down. They're making you have flashbacks.
Yeah. Then you say Dr. Flashback. 20. I'm 2-7 and Brian's 5-4, I believe, for our guarantees.
16-20 overall. 2-7 on the Big Danny D guarantee, and Big B guarantee is a winning record.
Yeah, somehow, some way, he did it.
I'd like to thank all
Look
my
out,
fans.
now that he's got cable, he's gonna start pulling ahead.
That's right.
That's right. He's starting watching the game instead of cartoons, and he's watching Red Zone.
I'd like to shout out to all my fans at Delilah's, all the strippers out there for their inspiration.
Yeah, we all know Brian can't afford to go there, so he's not going there.
You have been quite an inspiration.
And we also know how Brian operates at strip clubs, where he just lurks around in the back and tries to stay away so he doesn't have to give the woman any money.
This is true. I will not deny that. Scott has witnessed me in action. He yelled at me a couple times because I tried not to tip the strippers.
Brian is really shy around women unless he's in a strip club.
Oh, by the way, did Brian break the bad news to you?
Oh, you're going to break it for? I was going to do that.
Well, you can. You can make the announcement.
You want to do it for your Vag Award?
Well, no, you can talk about that. What's going to happen? How they're closing the...
Yeah, you might want to drink one... what is it called?
Pour a 40 out for Dawn.
Yeah, you might want to pour a 40 out. The Krog is no longer, Scott. They sold the Krog. It's going to be a family restaurant.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, see? I'm not see my brother's upset.
That is sad.
I know they're getting rid of karaoke. They're getting rid of trivia night. They're getting rid of the DJs. They got rid of the pool tables.
They're getting rid of Brian.
They're getting rid of Riff Raff like me.
Yeah,
it's gone now. They're changing.
what is it going to be called?
I don't know.
Friendlies?
Applebee's.
Sounds like it.
No, they got. You know how there are two bars? They're getting rid of that back bar, and they're making the whole area all tables. And they got rid of the pool table, and they're making that all tables. And they are going to keep the front bar. But who wants to go to a restaurant with a bar? You want to go to a bar that has food, not a restaurant that has a bar. You want to go to a bar that serves food. The bar has to be the central point. No, I'm giving
Is
bar
this a
etiquette
man
lessons,
violation
man.
going to a
This is a learning.
restaurant that has a bar instead of a bar that serves food?
Right,
Is that your
right,
man
right.
violation?
This is right here. This is Bar Rules 101 by the Iceman, Brian O'Haron. Big B.
Remember, everyone, ice melts.
Iceman.
Another self. What do you call it? He's like P. Diddy. He nicknames himself.
Yes.
Another douche. That's all we need.
Don't be jealous.
Yeah. Yeah, we get the Tom
Haters
Cruise
gonna
jawline
hate.
story.
Haters gonna hate. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Big B who puts the class in Collingswood will now have to find another venue.
I know. Please write in, email, let me know some good locations to go to. I will class up your joint.
He's just looking for a quiet piano bar where he can have his dry martinis, occasional jazz night, jazz Saturday nights,
And if you're lucky,
something he likes.
and if you're lucky, you'll find him in your local park on a bench asleep with a newspaper on him.
The reason he's brown bagging it in the local park is because he doesn't have such a venue available to him. That's why he's brown bagging it in the local park, feeding the pigeons. Sad, but true.
Yeah, with the pitch.
Oh, God. Feeding the ducks.
He's like,
And that man just fell into the pond.
I think
drunk.
Jethro Tull wrote that song with Brian in mind. Sitting on a park bench, da-na-na, eyeing little girls with bad intent.
And that's the musical portion of the show.
Well, in our theme song.
Well, no, the singing.
Greasy fingers smearing shabby clothes.
Oh, boy.
Brian. No. We will now have the Week 10 Vads of the Week from Big Danny D.
Man loves that harp.
That's right. Once again, our winner is Mike Tomlin, who once again said the same stupid crap he always says and makes the same dumb mad face that he makes every time the Steelers lose. Oh, we're going to make changes. We're going to be better. This is unacceptable. Blah, 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 blah. So he wins again in a landslide. What a moron. It's terrible. He doesn't come with anything original. He doesn't yell at anybody. He just says the same nonsense oh, we got to do better. Oh, it is unacceptable. We're going to make changes. Guys aren't doing their jobs, and they're going to lose their jobs.
Sounds like Andy Reid. I didn't put the players in the right position.
Yeah, it's almost like a rehearsed speech, a rehearsed answer to honest questions. So for that reason, Mike Tomlin wins for the second time this season. I believe he is our first two-time winner this year. So congratulations, Mike Tomlin.
Yes, last year Mark Sanchez won it.
Yeah, he won it many times. But he's not playing.
He's working on Badge of the Year.
Yes, he is.
For the second week.
Yeah, he's the front runner.
Nice. So we will now have the combined pick segment.
You're doing Seattle.
Starting with Danny D. Let's have Week 10 combined pick number 1.
All right. Our first combined pick for Week 10 is Denver -7 at San Diego. Denver is coming off a bye. San Diego is coming off a terrible loss at Washington, which they kind of blew it at the end of the game. We're taking Denver -7. Denver should be healthy, ready to go. They should have everybody back. Von Miller should have another week to get in shape now that they had the week off. Unfortunately, they don't have their head coach because he had a heart valve replacement surgery, but I don't think that really matters. Jack Del Rio is kind of a buffoon, but all he has to do is deal with the defense. Peyton can coach the offense without anybody else. Del Rio just has to worry about timeouts, really, more than anything, even though Peyton could probably manage that. But anyway, we're taking Denver. San Diego's defense is terrible. I think they've given up 400 yards 2 or 3 times already this season. They give up over 30 points pretty regularly. Their defense is terrible. So I see Denver being able to cover this game. It's only a touchdown. Denver is a far superior team. San Diego has some injuries to deal with too, injuries on offense. Ryan Matthews has been running the ball lately, but I think they're just going to be a shootout, so they really can't get bogged down trying to run the ball the whole time. That's kind of what happened to him last week in Washington. They had to eventually just abandon the run because Washington just went up and down the field on them. And Denver has many more weapons than Washington does, and Peyton's obviously a superior quarterback to Griffin. So I would take Denver in this game -7. I think it's a safe bet. I know it's a heavy road favorite, but Denver, I like them coming off a bye, and Peyton in almost a national television game. I expect them to come out firing, and they should have a really good game.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
So it looks like the elder Manning is back in favor with the Gurus this week.
Yep.
We will now have the second combined pick from Big Brian B.
Before I do my second pick, is Denver a love train or is that only New Orleans?
Let the producer produce.
You're so great at it.
Thank
we only
you.
have 50 mistakes a week. All right.
All right.
Week 2.
No, actually, if you remember last week, there was a love train, but it wasn't as you said.
Well,
right? Who was the love train back last week?
was it New Orleans, right?
No.
I thought we picked New Orleans.
Was it the Chiefs? I thought it was the Chiefs.
Yes.
See, I was right. You cricketed me.
Yes.
See, you're a great producer. You cricketed him. He was right.
Yeah.
Shithead.
Once I cue the sound effect, I got to use it.
No, you just whenever Brian's talking.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Shithead.
Just like you just said,
I'm
week
sorry.
2.
2 and 7.
No, who cares?
2 and
Oh,
7.
Actually,
oh, this is week 2. I didn't even
and
drink tonight.
2 and 7.
There was actually a Broncos sound effect that I failed to play. My apologies. We will now have the second combined pick.
All right, the second combined pick of Week 10. Seattle -5.
Oh, never mind.
Seattle -5 at Atlanta. Take Seattle. I know it's on the road. Atlanta just got blown out by Carolina. Their defense is terrible. They're 22nd against the run. I think Seattle, Marshawn Lynch, and Russell Wilson can run the ball on them. Seattle has a second-ranked overall defense. Now, me and Dan did point this out and realize this, that the spread did change from -6 to -5. And Dan pointed out it's probably because Roddy White is coming back this week. But I still don't think one player makes that much of a difference. I still think Seattle should, with their great defense and their running game, and the fact that Matt Ryan has been a turnover machine the last 2 or 3 games, I just think Seattle is going to win by more than 5.
Yeah, he has 6 interceptions in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They're actually trying to get Wilson to run the ball less if they can because they're afraid he could get hurt. So I think you could see a bigger dose of Marshawn Lynch in this game.
Yeah, he only carried the ball like 4 or 5 times against the Rams, and he was pissed.
Yeah, they play another game against Tampa after that, so I think he carried the ball more there. But I expect Atlanta to get a big dose of him. And I don't. Percy Harper's not coming back this week, unfortunately. Otherwise, I think they'd really blow them out. He's another week, at least a week away from coming back.
But I know Vegas is smart, but I just don't think one player is that much of a difference just because Roddy White's coming back.
Well, I know he's not going to make that much of a difference, but Seattle could still win by a touchdown. No, I don't think it's really asking a whole lot here. Especially where they're playing. I think they want to play better, too. They've played like crap the last 2 weeks. They were down 21-0 to Tampa Bay, who is 0-8.
And they have a settled score because Atlanta beat them in a playoff game last year.
Yeah, and they're a better team now, so they should take care of Atlanta. Atlanta's awful. Matt Ryan, as I said, 6 interceptions last 2 games. He's in the last game, but before that, Arizona, it took him 61 attempts to throw for 300 yards, which was the worst effort ever to throw for 300 yards, the most attempts.
Wow.
So he had the least yards per attempt ever in a 300-yard game.
Wow.
And Steven Jackson has been a complete disaster for that team. Steven Jackson's awful. I mean, it's a shame that they got him. He is absolutely terrible. He got hurt again. And when he plays, he doesn't play very well. He had like 18 carries for 57 yards, I believe, against Carolina. So he's not doing a whole lot.
Yeah, and like I said, Atlanta, their rush defense is terrible.
Awful.
They're 22nd in the league, so Marshall Lynch,
I think he could have a big game.
Marshawn Lynch should have 100 yards, touchdown.
I think he could have more than that. They're going to give him the ball 25 times in that game.
So for all those reasons, take Seattle.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Your first 2 combined picks for week 10 are on the books. You're picking your Broncos and Seahawks. Again, the expert analysts are going out on a limb here with their picks. Very innovative strategy picking these 2 teams.
Yeah, see, the whole key is
why you would think they could win a game.
Yeah, but see, the key is to be right. It doesn't matter how innovative you are, how much chance you take. The whole key is to be right.
Hey, it's lonely on this limb, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, right, the right limb.
Ladies and gentlemen, a word from our sponsor.
Imagine it's the middle of the night, you're sleeping, your best friend calls for help. Will you go out and save his ass? Tonight, we put some friends to the test.
Hey.
Ça va, Pat?
Het is.
Ik ben wel blij dat je opneemt. Ik zit wel in de shit eigenlijk, jong.
Zijn aan het slapen?
Met wie ben dat?
Want ik heb hier een dik probleem eigenlijk.
I went somewhere and I played some cards in a poker room and I've lost some money.
En fait, il faudrait que tu ramènes 300 €.
Oh, sorry.
Ja, sorry frère, ja, ik weet dat het laat is, maar...
Ik kan je niet morgen betalen.
You need to bring me the money because they don't let me get out.
Jij bent zo 2 meter en jij kunt niet door.
Nee, ze zijn hier met 3.
Voilà, Geoffrey, je ne sais vraiment pas t'aider.
Quoi, vraiment pas?
Ze gaan niet op je kop gevallen. Ja, als dat echt moeite van doet, hè, ja.
Tot ze biedt, hè.
Poker game. Third floor.
Sorry.
Dus ik kom nu naar beneden en je komt dat geld halen of ik ben vush. Als er iets vervalt, man, ik spreek van mijn leven niet meer tegen je.
Dan?
Did you bring my money? Put it on the table.
We are back for the featured segment of the show being the guaranteed picks from your gurus, Big Danny D and Brian B. We will now have the first guaranteed pick from Big Danny D. Let's have it.
All right, our first, my guaranteed pick for this week is Carolina at San Francisco, -6. I know Carolina's won 3 in a row, and they played really well, but San Francisco's won their last 3 by an average of 21 points a game. Their running game has been excellent. They're getting Mario Manningham back. They're going to get Michael Crabtree back soon. Vernon Davis has been a beast lately. Kaepernick's played very well. Their defense is getting healthier. They have Alden Smith back from his trip to the Betty Ford Clinic and to jail almost, I guess, for that weapons charge. So who knows how much longer they're going to have him. He might be getting a long suspension soon. But anyway, and they're coming off a bye week. So they've had plenty of time to prepare. I really believe San Francisco is going to win this game by more than 6 in this one. They've just been on such a roll, just blowing teams out. I mean, I know Carolina has a good defense and they can run the ball a little bit, but I just see San Francisco as such a superior team. They've been playing so well and putting up over 40 points, I think, in 3 of their last 4. So they really have something going there, and I believe they can win by a touchdown. I don't think that's really going to be a problem.
I would like to.
I think it's going to be a 10-point game. But anyway, take San Francisco this week.
Yeah, I would like to point out, too, that it's probably going to be a low-scoring game because Carolina is the number 4 overall defense, and San Francisco is the number 2 overall defense.
I disagree. I think this is going to be like a 27-17 kind of game.
So it could be like 16-6.
No chance.
Okay.
The NFL, there has been no 16-6 game probably in years.
All I'm saying is that two of the top 4 defenses.
Yeah. Anyway,
Dan's always right.
As someone who didn't have red zone the first 9 weeks of the season, couldn't tell you.
Oh yeah, red zone's the whole world.
Well, because I can watch all the games. You couldn't watch them.
I saw the internet.
Do we need? Well, no, not really. Anyway, do we need to discuss Brian's afternoons of watching the Eagles game at 1? They lose, watches post game live, then watches cartoons, and misses the last two games of the day.
Yeah.
So that's how it usually went.
That's right.
Especially when you didn't have cable, so you couldn't watch red zone. But anyway, no, San Francisco's been on such a roll offensively. I don't see how Carolina's going to stop them. I don't care what they have going. Because San Francisco do everything. They can run, they can pass, and they can play action pass. And I just see San Francisco scoring easily in the 20s, and Carolina probably scoring somewhere in the teens. So it'll be like a 27-16, 27-20, whatever it is kind of game. I just think San Francisco's really on a mission right now. They're really playing very well.
So San Francisco traveling to the East Coast to play the Panthers?
No, San Francisco's home.
Oh, never mind.
It's a home game.
So Big Danny D is, Cam Newton gets on a roll for once in a great while, and leave it to Big Danny D to jump in and start the dog pile now.
Yeah, well,
that poor man was having mental struggles. He had to have a sit down with his dad and his brother to talk about mano a mano, how to be a quarterback, and here's Danny D to jump in and kick a man when he's just starting to gain some traction in this league.
Well,
as a future quarterback.
Colin Kaepernick's playing better than him. He's been really remarkable in those last few games. I mean, it all started when they started giving the ball to Frank Gore more, and it set up everything for them. But that running game, as I said, the passing game's been better, and the play-action passing game's been better. And I know Carolina's been playing well, but look at the competition they've beat. It's like Tampa and some other crap team and Atlanta, who are awful. Those teams are all awful. I think the teams they beat have combined 3 wins. So it's just like, I can't really look at it that way. I mean, I understand they have a good defense, but they haven't played a team like San Francisco, and especially this is a road game for them. They're going to lose 3 hours here, or gain 3 hours, whatever it is. The time change going to San Francisco, and San Francisco had a week off. They could prepare, and I just think they're in such a roll. They're a superior team. They're a better team than Carolina. Carolina might be somewhat a roll now, but in the end, San Francisco's a lot better. And as I said, they're getting Alden Smith back to make a difference on defense. So I think they could win by a touchdown. I think it's that far of a stretch.
So with the big Danny D guarantee, pick your 49ers. Let's have the big Brian B guarantee. 5-4, baby.
That's right. And I don't need a sound effect for this, but Scott can appreciate this. Who that? Who that think he can beat them Bengals? Who that? Who that think he can beat them Bengals? Going with Cincinnati.
I should have some Hootapo.
Yeah, Bootapo. I'm gonna go Cincinnati -1 at Baltimore. Baltimore they lost to Cleveland last week. They looked horrible. Their offense struggling. Cincinnati, they did come off a tough loss against the Dolphins. They're on a longer week. They get more rest. They did lose Geno Atkins. That was a big loss. But I still think they have a solid defense. I think their offense is coming around now with Andy Dalton. I think he's connecting with his receivers. They're getting a good rapport. And what really just attracted me to this is the low spread. I like -1. And I just think Cincinnati's a better team than Baltimore. Baltimore, I think, is kind of imploding right now. I think the wheels are coming off.
Ray Rice was awful. He had 11 carries for 17 yards last week.
So for all those reasons, who that thinking to beat them Bengals, baby?
Probably the Ravens.
I just picked up on that. Soriano of Tampa had coached for Rutgers. Was he the coach with when Ray Rice was playing there?
Yeah, he was there.
His name is Schiano.
Schiano.
Yeah,
shows you how good he is. I don't even know his fucking name.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. You're not going to see him much longer there. Yeah. He'll be gone soon. Ray Rice is awful. That's the whole problem for that team. He's been terrible this season. And the receivers for Baltimore stink. Those guys are awful. They have one guy, and the Smith, and all he can do is run a go route.
Yeah,
he can't run any slants or outs.
And they lost Pitta earlier in the year.
They lost him in training camp.
Yeah, they don't have a tight end.
Season.
Yeah.
Dixon has stone hands.
Who's my man? What happened to my man? Who is it? Torrey Smith? Or who's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Dan said, all he does is run the go route.
And that works twice a game, maybe at the most. I mean, he's not a true number one receiver who can run all the routes and gets open for the quarterback when he needs him at most. And Flacco's usually he stinks. They lost to Cleveland the first time in like 6 years, I think. That team's in trouble.
They lost to Jason Campbell.
Yeah, I know.
Jason fucking Campbell.
Their defense isn't what it used to be at all. I mean, they have too many injuries this year on defense.
And they lost leadership when Ed Reed and Ray Lewis.
Well, those guys were kind of, you could have put a fork in both of them. Really, I'm not.
No, but I'm talking about the leadership in the locker.
They still have Terrell Suggs. He's a leader.
Don't bring up the murderer to Dan.
Dan gets mad. Who cares?
No, he's a murderer.
Who cares? He didn't murder you.
He killed a guy.
He didn't murder your mom.
He killed a guy in Atlanta, and he got away with it.
No, his friend killed somebody.
Him and O.J. Simpson. No, he killed him. He killed him, and O.J. Simpson killed somebody, and they both got away with it.
Wouldn't it be funny if Ray Lewis murdered Dan and got away with it? That'd be hilarious.
This guy, that's so wrong.
He's like, he watches the show one day. He's like, I'm gonna murder his ass too. I'm gonna get away with that too.
You better be careful because he's gonna be on Tampa on Monday. So you better watch out. Better lock your kids in your house so they can't get out. He's gonna be lurking around the Tampa Bay area for Monday Night Football.
Wouldn't that be funny if he killed? That's a.
Well, hey, you know what? If he killed me, at least you'd finally realize he's a murderer.
No, he got away with it.
You'd probably still root for him.
No, that's Scott's
point.
I
like murderers.
I already told you, I don't care as long as you win. And we've had this discussion. The Cowboys are a bunch of convicts. They won 3 Super Bowls.
It'd be even funnier if he killed Dan and then he went to heaven. And they were like, they said, yeah, Ray, you're right. Dan was going to turn into the next, he was going to turn into a really bad person. And you saved many people by murdering him. So you're going to go to heaven. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have your guaranteed picks for Week 10 being your 49ers and Bengalis. We'll now have the man violation from the chief violator himself, Big Brian B.
This week, Week 10 man violation comes from with an assist from my partner over here. He has informed me, being a longtime subscriber to Sports Illustrated, that they give you an option on whether you want the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. So obviously there are men out there that are choosing a substitute subscription that week instead of looking at the Sports Illustrated swimsuit models. So any man out there who actually chooses to get another magazine for that 1 week is definitely a major man violation.
Who can argue with that? I mean, that's like a cut and dried man violation there, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about, because I don't get Sports Illustrated, Dan, so I didn't even know they give you an option.
They send you a card. If you don't want to receive the swimsuit issue, they send you add an additional week to your subscription if you don't want to get it.
I remember back when I went to Catholic Church, the first, there was an edition of SI where they actually had one of the models for the swimsuit edition. This is going back to the
40s,
probably the early 90s. But they had the model was on the front cover with some perkies, you know, and the priest was just up in arms like, how dare they? And I've gotten Sports Illustrated my whole life, and now I will never buy Sports Illustrated again.
Turkeys were done?
It's like, get over it. Put me at. I like. That's why I like the culture. I like the cultures where the women don't wear tops, personally.
So I guess you really enjoy watching a lot of National Geographic programming.
So I guess Philly isn't the place for me then.
Oh, not a golden ticket week.
Well, I hadn't even thought about it. Well, actually, no, I did think about it. I'm not thinking on the Seahawks game is my questionable game this week.
But it'd still be 3 out of 4 though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You're picking your Broncos, Seahawks, Niners, 49ers, and Bengals. Anything jumping out at the Gurus in terms of trends here, or final thoughts?
We picked 3 road favorites.
No, I mean, the golden ticket. Can I have 2 tickets to Pittsburgh, please? The golden ticket week is just what it is. It was 1 week, and you guys did well that week. I mean, it's not a slight on you at all.
You're
it's
supposed
just
to have confidence in us. You're our producer.
Yeah,
this is
come
the
on.
point of the show, to get 3 out of 4.
Yeah,
you
listen,
shithead.
Willy Wonka. You're supposed to give us 3 out of 4 every week. So every week should be golden ticket week. Otherwise, you can send
Look, once you guys
kick your ass.
Once you guys get above 500, I mean, maybe we're going to start laying on some golden tickets. You know, might be giving away them like candy.
Can you send us a lifetime supply of chocolate?
Willy Wonka.
He wore a hat too, and he sings just like you did. Except I think he might have been a child molester, but he got Charlie in that room with all the chocolate.
No, I really think that you guys need to get back to 500. It's very important for the show, and have a good second half of the season. I mean, that's what we're after here.
If you get to 500, will you and the kids dress up as Oompa Loompas to sing a song to us?
Oompa Loompa.
He's trying.
I'm not a midget, okay? Can't pull that off.
Well, there'll be a big one. The father Oompa Loompa.
Also, before we get off, I had an idea for one of our future shows. I think we should invite Ed Kuhn on to ask him how his house is coming. The one he's building in Williamsport for the Watch Little League. I think we should ask Ed how's his house coming.
I wonder if he could.
You know, he was looking at some plans today. They're painting a grand balcony in the back that has a little
Is
step
he
for all the,
gonna put like a little play
but
thing
there's
in
a little
the
step for all,
slide?
there's a little step for all the
Is
kids.
he gonna have a jungle
but there's
jungle
an
gym?
extra step for the kids, so the kids who aren't playing the game can watch the other game from the back of his house.
And he also don't forget about
There's
his jungle gym in the
jungle
backyard.
gym, a pool, a basement,
Cotton candy machine.
a basement full of all kinds of toys and video games and everything.
I wonder if you could get on that. I wonder if you could get on that extreme home makeover. You know, where they're like, where the guy Todd, he's like,
behind the truck.
it's like we're building a house for Ed. He's trying to help little league ball players. He needs more space in his house for these boys, and we're gonna surprise Ed and help him with his extreme little league baseball home makeover. And it's like, and then Ed's out there with Todd. He's like, "Move that bus! Move that bus!"
Ed's all excited. He's crying.
Yeah.
And all the little league boys are jumping up and down.
And I guess Ed cries at the end of every little league season that it's over.
And it's like, Ed is actually able to keep control. How do you keep control of all these boys? We've installed a state-of-the-art video system for Ed to monitor all his house guests. And like Ed's eyes are tearing up, looking at all the cameras.
Remember did you ever see the movie Demolition Man?
No.
Well, and in that movie they put these microchips in all the people so they can track them. Well, that's what he's going to do. Make sure he knows where all the kids are going. They're tagged.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, place your bets to win and
Score with Big Pick 4.
We need more pirate porn.
Hey,